This is LBC News.
7:29 now, and tonight is the White House Correspondents Dinner in Washington, something that has traditionally been an opportunity for a more light-hearted interaction between the president and journalists. That relationship has changed quite a lot under President Trump, though, and we're expecting to see something a lot different later. LBC Washington correspondent Simon Marks told me what he thinks it might look like.
This is a tradition that dates back to the 1920s. Every single American president since Calvin Coolidge in 1924 has been invited by the White House Correspondents Association to attend an annual dinner. And over time, it has become more of a roast of the politician by the media and a roast of the media by the president of the day in charge. Now, as you know, this will be the first time that President Trump has agreed to attend one of these White House Correspondent Association dinners. I should also say, David, that over the years, the event itself has fundamentally changed in character. And that was a result of the deliberate strategy of a handful of prominent, permanent members of the Washington elite who decided that what Washington, D.C. needed was its answer to the Oscars. So this thing has become colloquially known as the Nerd Prom and exists as a direct result of the efforts that handful of permanent members of the elite made, exists now really as a beacon for celebrities to attend, for breathless coverage on America's television networks, none of which was part of the essential character of the event, 25, even 20 years ago. And it has therefore made the event, I think, in many ways, even regardless of the controversies surrounding President Donald Trump, a much more questionable and controversial event than it was when it first started taking place.
Let me ask you specifically about President Trump, because this is a man who has a sense of humour which is maybe a little bit different to some of his predecessors, and, let's be honest, has had a difficult relationship with some of the press. This could make for an awkward situation.
Yeah, maybe, but this White House Correspondents Association is a very different White House Correspondents Association than the one that we have previously seen, because when the Trump administration came back into power in January of last year, they essentially took it over. I mean, they didn't quite take it over, but they changed press arrangements at the White House to such an extent that tasks that had previously been the preserve of the White House Correspondents Association to oversee became the preserve of White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. So that took considerable power and authority away from the Correspondents Association to determine, for example, the composition of the press corps that is in the room when President Trump holds an event that is deemed to be a full event. We've also seen, under Trump's aegis, the White House briefing room swelled with an increasing and ever-growing number of propagandists and polemicists who are not reporters, but who are working for streaming networks and other outlets that are avowedly propagandistic and pro-Donald Trump in nature, which is why when you see him taking questions from the quote-unquote press corps at the White House these days, invariably, the majority of the questions at some events are softballs that are designed to give him an easy ride, and in some cases are questions that are being deliberately asked by people who want to give him an opportunity to make headlines on issues that he cares about. I think one of the reasons why he's attending this dinner tonight is because he is much more comfortable with the composition of the White House press corps, with many of the organizations that will be attending this event, fielding guests. He's comfortable with it in a way that he wouldn't have been before, because what he dismissively refers to as the legacy media have absolutely had their power and authority diluted. So to some extent, he's going to feel like he's in a room with far more friends than he might previously have expected to encounter.
Our correspondent Simon Marks in Washington.
This is LBC News.